Okay, students, this is a tutorial on the Ripple Roll Slip and Slide tool. I'm going to do this for based on two things here. First, I'm going to do this for a test. Test questions might be asked. This on video track 3 would be a before picture. I've locked it. That's why you see these lines in it. I've locked this so there won't be any changes to it. But you'll see a before picture and you'll see an after picture. And so we're going to discuss all of the stuff that goes with the Ripple Roll Slip and Slide tool and trimming that's in the book. So I'm not opening lesson 8. What I'm doing is I've just created these for us so that we can be able to see a little bit more clearly how these things work. All right, so first let's talk about just a regular trim. So if I have a clip that's like this, and I want to drag it out to match another clip or to match some audio that I have down here, I can do that with the selection tool. And if you look here in the selection tool, you guys know this. The shortcut is V as in Victor. So let me see if I can turn on my mouse expose stuff. Hang on 2 seconds. Let's do this up here and see if we can activate this. Yeah, okay. So I'm in the selection tool. I can simply click and drag this all the way out, and with snapping on, it goes right to the end of that, and I can just let it go and match it directly to that clip. That's just a regular trim edit. But let's talk about the ripple edit. So right here is the ripple tool, and let me scroll in there, and you can see that the shortcut for the ripple tool is B as in boy. All right, so the ripple tool is simply going to, when I change the size of a clip, it's going to drag everything to the right or to the left of it and move that with it. So this is the only tool, ripple tool is the only tool, and you can see I've got it selected here because it's blue. It's the only tool that will change the length of the timeline. So there are a series of questions with these test questions that I want you to ask yourself when you come upon a question on a test like this. First, you want to ask yourself, has the length of the timeline changed? Is it longer or shorter? All right, so let's look at how the ripple tool will do that. It's the only one that's going to be able to change the length of the timeline. So here I've got the ripple tool, and I'm going to click here, and I'm going to drag to the left. I'm shortening clip B, right? So it just moves clip C down to where clip B has been shortened. So has the length of the timeline changed? If the answer here is yes, then clearly it's the ripple tool. End of game, game over, go to the next question, you got this one right. All right, so what happens if I make it longer? So let's make B longer. And the ripple tool has pushed C down again. Has the length of the timeline between the before and after picture changed? Yes, it has. So that's simply the ripple tool. Okay, so if it's longer or shorter than the before picture, it's the ripple tool. Don't look at anything else. Just click on the ripple tool and go on. But that's what the ripple tool does. It shortens one or lengthens it, and it moves all the other clips that are to the right of it or to the left of it down to meet it. So there are no gaps. Okay, so let me Command Z that and get back to where we were. If I did that with the selection tool, if I drag this with the selection tool instead of the ripple tool, it leaves a gap. Then I have to right-click and select Ripple Delete, and then that will ripple the C clip down to meet the B clip. But that's too many strokes when I can use a simple tool like the Ripple tool, which is shortcut B. Now let's talk about a roll tool. Right here is the roll tool, and let me scroll in here. You can see the roll tool. The shortcut is N as in Nancy. So click that so that it's blue. You know it's selected. Scroll out again. And let's look at this edit point. That's the icon for the roll tool. So if I left click and hold on this and I drag this to the right to make A longer, it's going to make clip A longer and it's going to make clip B shorter. Let's do that. There I'm dragging. Oh, I don't have. Yep, there it is. Clip A is longer, clip B is shorter. You can see that right there. That's a roll. Has the length of the timeline changed? No, it is not the ripple tool. The next thing you ask yourself in these series of questions is, what two clips have changed? Well, clearly, clip A is longer and clip B is shorter. So your answer would be A and B. The next question you ask yourself is, are they adjacent? Are they side by side? If they are, it's the roll tool. That's it. Is the length of the timeline changed? No. Well, what two clips have changed? A and B. Are they adjacent? Are they next to each other? Yes. Then it's the roll tool. Stop asking questions. Move on to the next question on your test. All right? So that's what the roll tool does. It will take one clip and lengthen it, and it will take the other clip, the clip next to it, and it will shorten it, or vice versa. I can drag it this way and shorten A, and it will lengthen B. So you can see there, A is shorter, B is longer. Same thing applies. If you see this on a test, ask yourself, has the length of the timeline changed? No, it's exactly the same. All right, it's not the ripple tool. What two clips have changed? A and B. Are they adjacent? Are they next to each other? Yes, they are. Then it's the roll tool. All right, let's go to our slide tool here. The shortcut is right here. Shortcut is U, as in useful. All right, this is a little different. Let me Command Z and get this back to where it was before. Now they're both equal. Let's look at the slide tool. Now the slide tool is not a tool that we use on an edit point. It's a tool that we use on a clip. All right, so what's going to happen? It's going to create two ripples. So I'm going to click on B and I'm going to drag it to the left. What it's going to do is it's going to shorten A clip and it's going to make B clip longer. So it's going to ripple this down and B is going to come with it, and it's going to make C longer, so it's going to ripple that. So let's look at this. Watch this drag. You see me dragging to the left, and as I release it, C is longer, B is shorter, A is shorter, and B is the same length. So again, let's look at our questions. You see this on a test. This is the before, this is the after. And what does it look like? So which tool was used to create the after? Has the length of the timeline changed? No, it has not. It's the same. Okay? It's not the ripple tool. Which two clips have been changed? Well, clearly A is shorter and C is much longer. All right? Are they adjacent? Are they next to each other? No, they are not. They're not. So it's not the roll tool. It must be the slide tool. The slip tool is never going to be an option on a test, and you'll see why in just a second. All right, so that's the slide tool will keep the length of the clip you're moving. In this case, it's B. It will keep that length the same, but it's going to alter the length of the clips to either side of it. In this case, I moved it to the right. Now C is shorter and A is longer. A very good question for a test is, when using the slide tool, how many clips have been affected? The answer is 3. And here's why. Let me go to the selection tool here. Here's why. Look at this. A has been made longer. C has been made shorter. That's 2 clips. But B, the length hasn't changed, but the position in the timeline has changed. Now instead of starting here at this time code, let me get in here a second and use my up and down arrow key. And instead of this time code here, B is now starting a little later at this time code. So the position of B in the sequence has changed. So essentially 3 clips have been altered. A is longer, C is shorter, and the position in the sequence for clip B has changed. So the slide tool essentially keeps the integrity of the length of the clip you're moving, but it alters the length of the clips on either side of it. But it also moves that one to a different spot in the timeline. Very, very simple. Now, let me Command Z and get that back to where it was. And let's look at this one, our slip tool. This is kind of difficult. The slip tool, the shortcut is Y, as you can see here. Shortcut is Y, as in why do we have this tool? Let me click on it, make it blue for you. Now, what's going to happen is this is going to take this clip and it's going to move it, right? And it's going to move the source clip behind you behind these 2 edit points. Let me shorten this a second for you to show you a little bit better. All right, so and let me get rid of that. I should have used the ripple tool, but I didn't. So let me use my slip tool here, and it's going to actually move that behind there. You can't really see this happening here. I'd have to use a video track to do this. But it actually takes the video that is the source material in this clip, and it moves it side to side. And I would have to have a video clip, and I chose a still shot here for that. But anyway, that's our slip tool. So we have 4 things here. We have our trim edit here, just a straight trim. That doesn't change anything. It's not rippling anything, just a regular trim, right? We have the ripple tool, which will shorten or lengthen a timeline. It's the only tool that will do that, shorten or lengthen a timeline. We have the roll tool, which will take 2 clips, and as you drag to the right or the left, will make 1 clip longer and 1 clip shorter, depending on the header or the footer that you have. We have the slide tool, which will take the clip that you're moving, and it will change the length of the clips to the left and to the right of it. Make 1 shorter and make 1 longer, or make the one to the left longer, the one to the right shorter. Then we have the slip tool, which will take the original media, and it will slide it in behind these 2 edit points, so that you can create a brand new edit point and an in point and an out point without really having to open the clip and the source material. All right, so those are our 4 things. Let's review those. If you see this on a test, let's review the questions that you ask yourself very quickly. You're looking at the before picture, and you're looking at an after picture. Right here would be this. You ask yourself these questions in this order. Has the length of the timeline changed? If yes, if it's shorter or longer in the after image, then that's the ripple tool. Stop right there, go to the next question. You got this one right. Congratulations. Second question, if the length of the timeline hasn't changed, what do you ask yourself? Well, what 2 clips have changed? And it would be A or B, for instance. And then you ask yourself, are they adjacent? Are they next to each other? If they are, as in the case of A and B, then it's the roll tool. Stop right there. You got this one right. Go to the next question. If they are not next to each other, as in A and C, then it has to be the slide tool. All right? Just ignore the fact that there is an option for the slip tool. That's not going to be an answer, because in this kind of setup, you can't show, as you saw before, I can't show you the slip tool. It's going to look exactly the same. So I would actually have to show you the video itself where you could clearly see that. So that's not going to be an option. You're only going to have, of the ripple, roll, slip, and slide tool, you're only going to have the ripple, roll, and slide tool. The slip tool is not going to be an option. Let's review those shortcuts. For a regular trim edit, it's the selection tool. Shortcut is V. For a ripple edit, shortcut is B. To use the roll tool, shortcut is N. To use the slide tool, shortcut is U. And to use the slip tool, the shortcut is Y. All right? That should get you there. Good luck on the test.